Hello and welcome to this first edition of the Retune Live Show, live on the internet, on Twitch today. For those who don't know what Retune is, I would be very much interested in what brought you here then. Perhaps you can let us know in the chat. Retune started as a festival in 2012 that brings together creative people who do interesting stuff with technology. That's the broad focus kind of. And since then we have been doing several festivals and studio visits. But since the pandemic is still upon us, we are all live on the internet now. We have been doing some formats last year, and we're trying out this new live show. I'm trying to do this every 2 weeks. If the success is huge, then we will, of course, do it more often, daily or something. Let's see. Perhaps we'll also do another festival eventually, but who knows what the future brings. So we have a full program today. So the idea of this live stream is to have changing formats. Today our format is Let's Art. If you're familiar with this platform, Twitch, there are a lot of people playing games and call this Let's Play. And I thought it might be interesting to not watch somebody see somebody shoot people in a computer game, but to create some art. So I invited Aaron, aka Exitsimulation. He will do some VR artworks with us. Today I'm super excited to see what he's gonna be doing there, and also he recently started creating NFTs and stuff like that. Of course, everybody is nowadays, and we'll also talk to him about what this is all about. But first of all, I invited to 3 of our long-term supporters, actually. I think all 3 of them have been involved in the Retune Festival 2014, and I thought it would be nice to have kind of long friends of Retune here. Raphael, if you're seeing this, you're not invited today, but we will invite you next time. But we didn't want to have more than 3 guests. That would have been a bit too much. Let me know if you're there in the chat. And everybody else, say hello in the chat. That's how this live streaming thing works, I hear. Okay, so we will be talking to these 3 people about what they are up to these days. And we will start with Rachel from the School of MA. Rachel, are you already there? Let's see. Rachel, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I thought we have this nice phone conversation here. So don't bump your head into the thing there.
We don't get my rabbit in though.
Ah, no, shit.
My
Where
rabbit.
is it? It's gone. There, on the other side. On the other side.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's so weird to see yourself in an opposite way.
But what I wanted to say is that all the call softwares flip your image, so you see yourself like you would in a mirror, but that's not how other people see you. So when you look at the resume room, actually other people will see you flipped.
Okay, it's because it's weird to have like hair where you were not used to seeing hair, you know? I was like, but yeah, I'm gonna try to go with it. I'm rolling with it. Sorry, keep going.
Rachel, you're running a school of MA, and MA is not short for martial arts, but it is for making make-believe. You have to help me. What is the School of MA, Rachel?
It's School of Machines Making and Make-Believe. Yeah, it's true actually. The School of Martial Arts took School of MA on Twitter first, so gotta give it to the School of Martial Arts. They're probably pretty cool.
Of course.
They definitely have the better Twitter handle.
Nice. You have, I think, 3 A's, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
That's also nice. It's
3
also
A's.
nice.
That's okay. It's all right.
What kind of school is the School of MA? What do you do? What do you teach?
So, I mean, generally the focus is art, technology, design, and human connection. So the idea being that while we mostly focus on creative technologies, we also need to explore the human side of that, and like, why are we using these technologies and what implications do they have about ourselves and society? And so I think that's just, I mean, it feels like the way to learn technology. It's not just like, go to a class, download the software, let's get going, but it's like, okay, who's in the room, what's going on, why are we using these tools, and to start to think a bit more meaningfully about what we're using and spending our time with.
Yeah, and you're running a class right now. I think it's on right now in parallel. What's this one about?
Right now we're running, it's a visual communication. It's about data and climate change and speculative futures. It's a very intricate class. And also, actually, today we started running a Spanish class focused on runway ML and also being critical about the world around us. So yeah, a lot going on.
You were saying it's a Spanish class, and I was thinking you're learning Spanish, but it's a Spanish runway ML class. No, exactly. I get it. No, I get it. And
although I am learning Spanish, so it's still accurate.
And but how do these classes work out? Like people used to be present in Berlin. How is it now?
Well, since the pandemic, we started running online classes, which are really cool actually, because it gives people a chance who normally were really far away and weren't able to kind of come and take a full month off to take a class. And so our structure now is basically 5 weeks of online classes, and they're kind of set up to be similar to how we would do it if it was in person. So like in the first week, people get to know each other, and then they start to get into the tools, and then they create something at the end. So, and that's generally also the structure with our 4-week full-time classes in Berlin.
Yeah, but are the online classes also the full week, or is it just like meeting once a week, or how does it work?
No, they're 2 hours once a week.
2 hours once.
I mean, the thing is, it feels like a crime to have people online for more than 2 hours in a day. I mean, you know, like those days when you have like 2 or 3 calls, and it's just like So I don't know. That's kind of like trying to be humane at the same time as like having education opportunities.
Yeah, nice. But are you more international now? So do you have a lot of people from everywhere in the world applying?
Yeah. I mean, the structure is different because online you can just sign up for a class, but we do have a lot of people, and it gets a bit tricky. Like right now we have several people who are based in like Australia and South Korea who want to take classes, but they end up having to be up in the middle of the night. And some of them even do that. But it doesn't seem, I mean, you know, so ideally we're going to start to have more classes that are in different time zones to make it easier for people.
Classes for different time zones. That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, well, because you notice that location does matter after all, also in a connected internet world thingy that we are living in now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, we record the classes too, so people can also participate without being live. But yeah, they are live classes, so that's kind of, I mean, to be more interactive and like more like what we do in person.
Yeah. What are the next classes you have coming up?
So glad you asked. No, kidding. I feel like a talk show. Like there should be like this like music under. Is there music actually? I think I hear music. There's
a bit of music. There's a bit of music. That actually confuses me very much. I think I have to cut it off in the headphones.
That's funny. You're like tech person, turn it off. Anyway, so we have, actually we're trying to go back to in-person classes. So this summer we have classes scheduled for July, August, and September. And so they're basically the classes that we were scheduling a year ago, and we kind of pushed them back to this year. So we have like transmedia storytelling, crafting food experiences, Interactive Berlin, which is creating interactive art in public spaces, and then we just added like a month ago or something 2 new classes which are both machine learning focused that will happen in September alongside each other, so that ideally people in both classes will be able to connect, share knowledge, and kind of like hang out and things in Berlin. So
cool.
And also, I mean, I just sorry, go ahead.
No, you can.
I mean, I was just going to say, we also have started this thing, which is called Serial Party, which we used to do in connection with festivals that would happen in like at Akud, which was where we're based. Mm-hmm. And so we started to do them online. And so that's also a free event that people can kind of take part in and kind of get to know what we're about and how we operate, which is, I mean, basically like small, we're trying to be, it's like, it always feels like family, or that's the kind of the vibe we're trying to go for. You know, it's like small amount of people, but we talk about real shit, and we're like, what the fuck is going on in the world? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about technology. Let's talk about all the things. So anyway, that one's coming up in a couple of weeks, so people should... we posted it on Instagram, so people can find out more about that.
Okay, yeah. And all the info is also on your website or something, or the link to your Instagram is probably on your website, and I put the website already in the chat, so if you are interested in learning more about the School of not martial arts but machines and make-believe, then go to this website and get in touch with Rachel and take one of the classes wherever you are in the world. It's online right now. Anyway, like everything. Rachel, it was very nice talking to you. Thanks for stopping by, and you have to get back to your class. Have a nice evening.
I do. Yeah, you too. Bye-bye. Ciao.
And I think without further ado, we'll go to our next guest. Christian is the founder of the Constitute. He is a professor in Halle at the Burg Giebichenstein, and he is also driving a Fabmobile from time to time, and now he has these Lokallabore, whatever that is, he will tell us hopefully. Christian, hello. Schön, dass du da bist.
Julian.
We're doing this in English.
Nee, ich habe keine Ahnung, wie machen wir das?
No, we're doing this in English, everything, I think. But before I forget, if you want to hear the two of us talking in German, you can listen to the newest podcast from the Hurrah Hurrah podcast that Christian is producing. Hurrah Hurrah was a festival, and now is kind of producing podcasts about the future of design education, right?
And the presence of design education.
And the presence of design
also education. The past of design education, and overall questioning what design education is and can be. Yeah, that's one thing I do.
I'm trying to figure out...
And in the last episode, I talked to Julian, and it was a very long talk, because we just danced around a few topics, and then in the end came to an end. That made a difference.
I just tried to find the link. I will put it in the chat here to this podcast. If you have questions, by the way, any of the viewers, let us know and we'll ask them.
So Julian, you have to ask questions.
Yes, right. I know. I wanted to ask you something about the Lokallabore project that you just started, but I have a video here. Perhaps I'll play it first. Should I or shouldn't I?
Yeah, that's super, because that grooves me in as well.
Okay, then let's groove in with this video. Nice. We just grooved both here. You didn't see that, but both of us were just like grooving in. Okay, what did we just see here, Christian?
Just a little excursion. Julian and we both have been in the studio and where you sit right now for quite a long time, and then I decided to think about how does design and working as a designer work in when you do not live in Kreuzberg or Neukölln in like one of these creative hubs, but in the rural and decentralized area. So then, with my dear colleague Sebastian and a bigger team, we said, okay, let's make let's build a bus that is more or less like a makerspace, like a fab lab, and we called that Fabmobile, and we have been sending this out to the rural decentralized areas in East Germany. So that's, we started 2017. It was, in my eyes, a great success. And then there were cities, or like cities, it's a big word for these small towns and villages, that been super high on having the Fabmobile on in their area. So then we said, okay, cool, if you like it, then you can build up your own makerspace. And we called them Lokallabore, and these are like follow-ups to the Fabmobile cruising through all these Landkreise. And now they have their own little infrastructure that is associated to a socio-cultural center, to a Verein, or whatever thing they have. And it's run by, I don't know, if you don't say target groups anymore, but like peer groups, like the people with lived experiences there. They run it. It's not that it's us running it, it's they running it. And we help them to build it up, we give some advice, but then it's more or less helping themselves.
Okay.
So that's what we did. And we have 3 of them.
Okay, 3 of them. But are there going to be more? Is that the first 3 or is it just 3? No.
No, we started with 3 in Annaberg-Buchholz, which is called Anna Mountain Bookwood. Then
of course. Probably
is,
very true translation, yeah.
And then in Whitewater, and in Löbau, which is Löbild, if you would translate it.
I have never heard any of these names before.
Think about yourself. And I wanted to say that there are more in the planning phase, and but it's because we are funded. We do not pay this from our own pockets. We have the great funding from the Drosos Stiftung, and we are now in that kind of follow-up funding for that, so that we can keep them a bit like the 3 already existing Lokallabore. They run really well, but they need a bit more time to evolve and to go to a certain point. So we need some more cash and time to help them with that. And also we want to get 3 new other ones not on the road, but like established in a way. So and the cool thing is, they are not like singular spots. They see themselves as a network. So like knowledge is shared, and we hope like when sharing is a bit more easy of physical things, also like infrastructure, like 3D printers, laser cutters, whatever things move around these places.
And who goes to these places, and what can people do there?
It's young people going there, 13 to 25. Like that age, when they get like a bit interested in all that tech stuff, a bit more in depth. And what they do there, they can first they can basically hang out in a safe space. So that is, no, you laugh, but it's something that is really important in the rural decentralized areas, to find a space where you can be your own. You don't have to be male if you just like look male. So you can just hack yourself. You can do all this nerdy stuff that you do, that I do, like all that stuff. But you don't have to go to Kreuzberg for that, so you can do that in your space. And it's also a place for connecting. It's a place for being creative, and it's because it's not a fab lab that is a fab lab just on its own. It's always integrated in a more cultural context. So in Annaberg-Buchholz, it's like you can hang out there like from 4 to 8 in the Lokallabore, and then the bar is opening, and then you have a punk concert and you go over there. So it's but you can also go to the skater park around the corner or stuff like that. So it's not digital culture as for its own sake. It's a digital culture that is integrated in the multitude and plural imagination of what culture can be.
Yeah, nice. You before we started this show, you had a white thing in your hand. Can you show that again? Yes, exactly. A cable.
Nein, actually. But it's super premiere and work in progress. So don't laugh, everyone.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so I show it just for a second. Yeah, it's a thing which is like a helmet. Whoa. I know it's because it's like this, and it's turning it around like this, and it has a front as well. And inside you can put a here so you can put a VR headset like a Oculus whatever thing, and in the end. I don't want to talk about too much about it, but it's something that is coming near you in the near future. It's so difficult. That's what Rachel said. That it's flip-sided. So I can't.
Yeah, really I know.
I leave that. So it's basically a new project that we, as a design studio, are working on, and and it will be premiered. How you say, like shown at the first time this year, in a very cool festival. Do you know, Julian, that there will be a festival in Essen? It's called New Now. Yes.
What a coincidence! I would like to know more about this one. I would.
Yeah, but it's not me. But it's not me who is an expert in that. Do you know Jasmin?
No.
Do you remember Jasmin?
No, sorry. No, sorry, but I could ask our next guest if she knows something about it.
Yes, maybe he or she knows.
Perhaps, I don't know.
Good.
I don't know how the next guest is. Let me check. Christian, it was very nice talking to you. If anybody wants to know more about the Lokallabore, there's also a website for this, right?
No, not Lokallabore. It's called
Lokallabore. Did I say the other one already before? I don't know. There's the video. There's also a website, isn't there? Lokallabore.
Yeah, www.lokallabore.de.
Wow, nobody did that before. Nice. Oh, you have a nice mouse pointer. Very good. Very good. I will put it in the chat over here. Thank you very much, Christian. Have a nice evening and see you soon.
Danke.
Bitte. Tschüss. And yeah, oh no, there's still Christian's name tag in the image. Our next guest is, what a coincidence, Jasmin Grimm, and she is the artistic director of the New Now Festival and used to be also program director of the Retune Festival. What a coincidence. Jasmin, nice to have you here. Are you still there? You were moving before, now you're frozen.
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's a bit interrupted.
Now you're back. Now you're back.
Yeah,
You're
it's like
back.
Der Vorführmoment, isn't it?
Yeah. Besides being co-founder of the consultancy Rosy DX, you are now the artistic director of the New Now Festival, which is happening in the Zollverein in Essen. And what I read on Wikipedia about the Zollverein is it was a coal mine, and it is called the Eiffel Tower of the Ruhrgebiet. Jasmin, did you know that? You're frozen again. Frozen! Jasmin? Jasmin. The internet in Treptow doesn't seem to be that good, unfortunately. It's a too long connection to Kreuzberg, probably. Having problems on the way. Okay, I don't have a backup plan to sing and dance. Yes, Toast Hawaii is asking something. Where to find more about the helmet? Yeah, that's a good question. I think they don't have anything online yet, but the Constitute does have a website, and actually this helmet is a there has been a version of a not similar helmet, but a they have done a helmet before. You can find about something about on their website. Jasmin, you're back.
Yes, I'm back.
And you're gone again, or are you still there?
The connection was back.
Yeah, what I can do is send you lower quality back. Wait a second. Okay, let's see if that works out. Jasmin, perhaps you can tell us something about your festival in Essen. What is it about?
Yeah, it's about digital arts. It's called New Now. Wow, surprise. Yeah, Christian was already pinpointing towards it. It's also, the festival itself is a premiere. It will take place for the first time this year, which is quite funny to start a festival in the middle of a pandemic, or even to conceptualize and, curate a festival in this weird times. Yeah, so we're doing it, and we hope we will take place. But from the beginning on, we're planning it to be digital and physical, so kind of a hybrid festival. And it's a festival that goes over 5 weeks, because also this idea of bringing a lot of people in short time together doesn't seem like a good idea these days. So we kind of stretched it a bit and made it more of like a slow program, and basically we have a festival that looks at the production of digital art. So we invite artists on site on the Zeche Zollverein, which used to be the biggest coal mine in the world, and now it's like a cultural site, World Heritage site. And we invite artists in to create new works on site and then to exhibit it, and to create some space to discover new digital arts.
And you had an open call for this?
Yeah, we had an open call, which unfortunately is already closed, or luckily, because we had so many submissions, like over 300, which I was super impressed for a new festival, that we get so many submissions. And we were reading a lot the last weeks, and then, we hopefully will get back to some of you if you're listening. There were really a lot of super cool proposals. It's really hard to decide. But yeah. We're just starting, and the festival should run for the next 10 years, so there's going to be a lot of more chances to get involved.
10 years, nice, yeah.
Yes, it's a decade project.
Wow, that's bold, very bold.
That's
nice.
Bold.
And what kind of artists are applying there? Like, what are they doing,
Yeah, mainly digital arts, like at Retune, at the intersection of, creative coding, technology, but also like society topics. This year we have a big focus on climate as well, because taking into the consideration the site where we're at, a former coal mine, we cannot think a digital festival without thinking about the sustainability of our technologies. So we place a very big focus on this intersection of technology, society, and its effects on the climate. And there were people applying from South Korea, from Lagos, a lot from different parts of Europe. So very, very different artists.
And how's the program going to look like? You're starting with these residencies, right? And then is there already a program going on? Or is there like one weekend, like a classical festival? Or is that completely slow programming over the 5 weeks?
Yeah, we call it a living sculpture, because every time you will enter the festival, it will look different. Mm-hmm. So we're starting basically with an empty space, because it's a festival for the production. So nothing will be there once the artists move in. We have like an opening night. We have some performances that are co-curated by the MUTEC Festival from Montreal. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of our housewarming. And then there's like 3 weeks time for the artists in residence to really build and develop new works. And then every weekend we're opening with workshops, with talks, so you can get like a glimpse into the process, both like digitally and on site. And then after 3 weeks, we're kind of opening the house. And then there's going to be like a big exhibition, another performance night with MUTEC, and a conference, a 2-day conference with the topic Another End is Possible, where we look at kind of post-apocalyptic scenarios for the world. Like, given the idea that this world as we have known it is already gone, then where are we now, and what kind of new presence do we encounter. And then from that moment on, there's the exhibition that stays for 2 more weeks. So it's very alive. And as I said, it's all, whenever you will enter, there will be a different setting for you.
Yeah, talking about alive, that's also what your website says, right? That I found that quite interesting, that it's a living website. You're saying, where's my browser so I can actually do something there? Because I wanted to show some images, because if you haven't ever been to the place or don't know it, perhaps you can get some impressions while browsing this website and hovering over the titles, which is kind of a very interesting interaction. But that's how this place. Is there a pool?
There is a pool. It's built as an artwork out of 2 containers, but it's actually a functioning pool, and we're trying everything to open it as well, so you can bring your towels.
Nice. You should always bring your towels anyway.
And that's the main space. I think that's a really beautiful image. That's the so-called Trichter-Ebene, because the building we're in used to be the mixing plant for coal. So down here, the coals were dropping to go further into the production line. So this was basically the starting building for the whole production process of the coals. And this is where we are placing our creative production festival into, and artists will work in this space. For 3 weeks, we have like the architecture that is built for them, and then also going to exhibit in this space and work with this very iconic architecture.
Nice. And how does a city like Essen get the idea to start a 10 years festival?
That's a good question. Maybe you should ask them. I think maybe some of you have known Stiftung Zollverein. They are hosting a lot of bigger cultural events, also like the Ruhrtriennale that is also taking place this year. But they also want to put a bigger focus on digital arts. With this festival, we're kind of starting to put a bigger focus. And the direction is that for the next 10 years, we will show more and more digital arts on the site in Essen on Zollverein. And New Now is kind of the first initiative marks the initial point to do that.
Nice. I'm very much looking forward to this. When is this happening again?
Starting end of August, the 27th of August. And then we're running the date.
Now your audio is mashing up, Jasmin, but we have been at the end anyway. No, you're back. Your connection was broken again. It was very nice having you here.
Absolutely.
We want to stop by at your new festival.
Exactly. And if you want to see Christian's new piece, come over as well, because we're also going to premiere it. As I heard, I didn't know it's even a premiere, but even more exciting.
Nice. I think it was supposed to premiere already last year or something. They have been working on it quite long, but it's gonna be great.
It's like with everything. We were also supposed to run last year, and we postponed it several times. So
several times, but 2021 is gonna be better than 2020 for festivals.
At least we're still optimistic it's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like a lot of people in my surroundings are getting vaccinated now. So let's hope that goes quick and we are all back to the new normal, the new now soon. Jasmin, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
See you soon. See you in Essen.
Bye.
Okay, and now we are going to the main part of this live stream. We are talking to Aaron. Aaron, where are you? Aaron, there you are. You're not frozen. That's very good.
Hi, Julian.
Hi.
Hi.
Aaron, perhaps you can tell, I'm always bad with telling other people's biographies. Perhaps you can introduce yourself just quickly.
Yeah, I'm a digital artist, art director and creative technologist. I live in Berlin. I work with real-time environments like Unity, for example, which is a game engine, but also AR and VR, or at the intersection of both, which would be XR, extended reality experiments. I do quite a lot, and I've done face filters, worked with Spark AR and Lens Studio, and yeah, within like the last 1.5 years, I've explored VR sculpting quite a lot, which you will get a glimpse of here today.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, you were mentioning face filters. I mean, you have been one of the first people who did face filters for Instagram, and that also got you a bit of a following on Instagram, right? How did that come?
Yeah, that was in around January 2019, and yeah, it was I was part of the closed beta phase for Spark AR, and I applied for this like in, I don't know, in November 2018, and then I got accepted a couple of weeks later, and actually had to buy a Mac Mini for this, because at this point or like any Mac device, but I decided to buy a Mac Mini because at this point Spark was only out for Mac. And then I started experimenting with it and put out a filter, and within a couple of days my Instagram blew up completely, which was a pretty crazy event to happen at this point. I mean, yeah, then I got really sucked into this whole ecosystem, and like, yeah, then you're on it a lot, like you read a lot of DMs, like you try to push out new contents, etc., etc. Now it has cooled down a bit. I use Instagram very differently now than as compared to like 2 years ago, but it was still a very interesting thing to happen for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but is it still like helping you as an artist to earn money?
I mean,
you have I think 230,000 followers on Instagram. That's pretty big.
Yeah. What Instagram still does pretty well for me is, I think, act as a portfolio to exhibit your projects and your art, and then people can refer to this, or they can discover you and then might approach you for some other projects. This still works quite well, but there have been a lot of changes, and lots of changes in the algorithm, big word, like definitely not always to the advantage of digital creators, or at least you would have to follow certain behaviors of posting very regularly across, like I read a bit into this, like you would have to, if the theories I've heard are right, because they are not completely disclosed, but you have to like basically use all of the features Instagram offers, and you have to use them regularly, and then you will be advantaged again by the algorithm. And yeah, but it creates a very weird environment, in my opinion, to be like try to match your output, your creative output, to fit into these kind of patterns. So yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Actually, I also had the feeling that, I don't know, like I'm always posting a lot like before the festivals, but since we didn't do a festival last year, the last one was in 2018, and I had the feeling that nobody's seeing the stories anymore because we're not posting regularly, and that seems to, I don't know, like not a lot of people get to see them then.
It changed quite a lot for sure. Like, I don't even know within what time frame exactly anymore, but like within the last year, there were some major changes that were, that are quite discussed within the creative community as well. Like I hear many people talking about this, like drop of engagement on their pages and etc. Yeah.
Kylene in the chat says that it's nice to see your face again. I'm not sure if you're reading the chat.
I remember. Hey.
And you have taught him or her some Spark. Nice. Are you doing that like regularly, teaching?
I had this course that I still want to continue, which is where I'm inviting people to my Discord, and I've also done like, and do Spark AR courses there. I've also done a course with together with Ines Alpha at ECAL in Switzerland, Lausanne, which was definitely fun experience and really nice. We were both quite impressed by the outcome of this little 1 week course, like had quite good results because the students were already super advanced in other software and whatever, cinema or some other 3D applications. And so the outcome of this little course into Spark AR was quite nice for 1 week.
Nice. Yeah, but we're not here only to talk, but also to do some art, right? So what are you gonna do with us today?
I don't know. I didn't really, I left it up for improvisation, which I found to be most authentic because this is what I mostly do anyway in Medium, because I find that it offers some nice advantages over mouse and keyboard that where you can get into some nice improvisational state and flowy state or something. So I just said like let's just try something. And
yeah, cool. You're using Oculus Medium is the tool that you're using, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I will. There's your screen also.
Okay, now I have to adjust my position here a bit. So yeah, Oculus Medium is...
Perhaps you can ask the people who are watching, who has done this before? Like, does everybody know this? Or is that something new? Is there a good VR modeling software? Is the question on the chat. I mean, what do you mean by like modeling software? Like Oculus Medium is a tool for drawing. I'm not sure if it's a modeling software. Would you say it's a modeling software? No,
it would be more like, it's VR sculpting, but there are also complete VR modeling toolkits like Gravity Sketch, I think Gravity Sketch, I think also has hard surface modeling, if I'm not mistaken, but I haven't looked into it personally yet.
Yeah.
I want to do it though.
Yeah. Do you know if there's anything open source? Hirnrosa is asking this.
Not sure. I think you have to pay a few bucks for all of them. I think they are not freely available, if I'm not mistaken. So, but I don't. I'm not entirely sure. But like Medium is, I think, I don't know, 40 euros or something. Yeah, but you also got it, I think, if you bought a Quest at a certain time, it was included or something like this. And also now it might have been changed because they were bought by Adobe. So now...
that might get more into the focus, right? These kind of applications.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe it will be at some point integrated into the Creative Suite or something like this.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are you doing there right now? So you have a menu on your right hand, right? And then on the left hand. I'm seeing the mirrored image here. On your left hand, and then you have the pen and the selector on the right side, right?
Yeah, exactly. So actually, there are menus on both sides, but here's the tool menu where you can select several tools. I mostly start out with the clay tool, but most of the time I change the shape. So you have these stamps that you can apply to your sculpting tool here, to your clay tool, and then you can basically draw with this shape and create interesting patterns through this. And then I just kind of like try to create some interesting base shape and go from there. And then you can select like a separate tool from the clay tool, and you can set it to a quick key, to a hotkey, quickly accessible. And I mostly select this tool because it gives me interesting possibilities of changing the general flow of the shape, which I like quite a lot. So, and what I do a lot is just, and I think everyone uses probably medium like this, is like go undo and redo a lot, like check, do I like this change, or or do I not like it? And then just try to create something that interests me and go from there. Like I mostly sculpt abstract forms and organic, almost a bit like organic looking abstract alienist life forms or something in here. Or but very abstract. I try not to necessarily go into too much. Like I don't necessarily make them creatures. Like they're in between creatures and sculptures, I'd say. Yeah.
And have you been sculpting before? Like before starting with VR sculpting?
Not really. I think I started with Medium and a bit of ZBrush at the same time, but I'm by far no expert in ZBrush. I still want to learn more about it because they go hand in hand quite well, those two. Mm-hmm. So at some point I would like to learn more ZBrush for sure. Then if I double click here, then I can change from adding clay to subtracting clay. So now I'm in the subtract mode, and if I then, for example, select the sphere tool, then it's like an eraser tool.
Raphael says, sorry, I'm late. I was talking to you about you before, actually, Raphael. I was saying that we will invite you for one of the next shows because you're also live streaming now. You also have a crown here. What does that even mean? I don't know. Perhaps you can tell us.
So now if I would be happy with this general shape, then maybe this is a good moment to create a second layer and just add more complexity, because because the thing is, if you want to texture this, and this is already, if you want to export a shape like this, which has quite a few details, if you want to export this as a polygon shape for other software and then apply textures to it, then you have to at some point create a UV map to apply texturing to it. And this gets already quite heavy in terms of poly count and then also in terms of the complexity of the UV map. So what I learned in my workflow is to split it up into several layers to make it more manageable in the end, and also to have more flexibility how I treat these separate layers in terms of different materials or stuff like this. So now I would create another layer and maybe even set them both to another lighting model because I think it looks nicer. And then I would also change the color and maybe select another stamp.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you would draw very different things if you wouldn't do it in VR?
I mean, yeah, probably. What I really enjoy about it is that you can really go into your model here, and this doesn't really translate so much into what you are probably seeing on screen because it's two-dimensional, but I really see it in pretty much 3D in front of me. So even if I go inside here, then it really feels like I'm inside of this model, and this makes it really, really interesting to work with. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm
You're hitting the
microphone.
That's okay.
Yes.
That's always okay.
Need to reorient myself here. Okay.
How long are you staying in there? Normally.
That depends. I had a release lately with a platform where I was preparing new models, and I stayed in here almost the whole day and just like sculpted, improvised, and then took these models and refined them later. So this was probably my longest session for like 7-8 hours with just a few breaks or something. But generally it's a bit, after a certain time, definitely gets a bit hard on the eyes.
Yeah.
And now I changed, no, it should work. Let's see what's going on here.
Our Toast Hawaii fan in the chat is asking, what do you create these, what environments do you create these sculptures for? Like, how do people look at them? What software do people have to use to see them?
Yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, like it depends. For example, some of them I just create renderings with that you would just like see in a digital artwork. Mm-hmm. Or others I make available in AR, which is tricky, and most of the time I'm not satisfied with the outcome in AR because you have to really reduce the poly count a lot. Mm-hmm. And then it loses its fidelity and it's just not as nice and detailed anymore. But I want to experiment more with it in the future, I think. And then like recently I released an immersive audiovisual EP together with a Swedish producer, Varg2TM, and we created this immersive world that you can access through your browser. Mm-hmm. And it contains also 2 of these sculptures, and you can basically experience them in 3D interactively through a browser experience. Maybe if we have time later, I can show this even.
Oh yeah.
Or you can visit it yourself.
Oh yeah, if you have the link, I can post it in the chat. Oh, what is it called?
I can drop it there. Just quickly. Yeah, it's this one, and it's like best experience through. It only works on desktop and laptop for now, and it's best experience through Chrome and Firefox. Yeah. And we just released this a couple of days ago.
And it's music also, right?
Yeah, it's an audiovisual experience, so it's like, yeah, you can, it's very much experiential, and you can, like, it's different, it's slightly different every time, because like also depending on how you move through the room, like you get a slightly different impression from the music it's the first episode of this kind of like EP that we were doing, and we want to expand on this concept even more. So like probably the next episodes will have even more generative elements in them. So this is just like the first, basically the first episode of a new format of EP that we were trying out and that we are still experimenting with and exploring, basically.
Yeah, nice. I didn't have a look at it yet, but I will, definitely. Yeah, I saw you posting this.
Yeah, and for this, there are two VR sculptures or creatures in there, and one I just ended up sculpting this, which very much reminds me in the end of a xenomorph-looking creature, like from a bit like Giga inspired, which is definitely a big inspiration for me. Hi Giga, and yeah, I somehow ended up in this direction. It wasn't even like planned to go in this direction, but this is what I mean. Like I mostly try to really use this VR sculpting very intuitively and try to see where I end up with it. And yeah, it's definitely a fun tool to use. And if you can get access to it, I would definitely recommend you checking it out because it's very intuitive. I'm just saving it now, and here you see some. I'm not sure if you can see it very well, but here's some older sculptures that I did.
Ah, yeah.
I can go closer. Yeah. And yeah. And then I would maybe create another layer and then probably later decide which of these layers I use in the final artwork. Like sometimes I create 4 or 5 layers, but then in the final render I only use 2 or 3 of them, for example. Okay.
Yeah, some people are already trying it out, but it seems to be a bit heavy on the laptop fans. Yeah, I didn't try it.
Yeah.
I thought about it, but then I thought, perhaps later.
Yeah.
Perhaps not a good idea to do this. So no. And yeah, but you also created these artworks and releasing them as NFTs, right? How does that work?
Yeah, exactly. Also, the latest browser experience has been released as an NFT, but yeah, also I also just released digital artworks as NFTs. Like I had a.
Perhaps we have to start in the beginning. I mean, it has been discussed so much, the NFTs, but perhaps we have some people who don't know what it is.
Sure.
Perhaps you can start at the beginning.
For sure. I mean, yeah, NFT stands for a non-fungible token and has been, I mean, we are all living in our online bubbles, right? I mean, depending on what the algorithm shows us and what kind of interest. And in my personal bubble, it was there was barely talking about any other topic within the last 2 months. Almost felt like it. But yeah, what it stands for non-fungible token, which is in contrast to, for example, fungible tokens would be, for example, cryptocurrencies or crypto tokens like Bitcoin or Ethereum, where each token is interchangeable with each other, like a currency. Like every dollar is also, like every US dollar or every euro is also exchangeable with each other. And the difference to NFT, non-fungible token, is that each one of them is a unique token on the blockchain. And so now basically a digital artwork for the first time can exist uniquely in the digital space on the blockchain. And this has some interesting implications in terms of ownership and governance, and also in terms of you can see the history of the piece, who owned it before. Everything is saved on the blockchain. And it's being explored a lot for all kinds of creative purposes, and it has been discussed a lot as well, in positively as well as negatively in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think in my Instagram bubble, it has been kind of schizophrenic in a way. One half is releasing NFTs, and the other one is hating about NFTs and mainly about the environmental impact. That was kind of it's super interesting to see that, actually. That there has been these totally two kinds of people. But that's kind of like the internet nowadays. You're either pro or against. You either hate these or hate those. I
agree. There's very little in between, and really considering both sides, which I find a bit, which I found a bit sad about this discourse, because there's a lot of personal attacking going on, and I hear about artists that are being targeted personally because they are releasing NFTs, and I think this is this is not the right way to approach this, in my opinion. I mean, it's definitely super important to think about these topics and the impact, for example the ecological impact, but I think you have to see both sides. And I mean, in my opinion, like we have to see, like, for example,
Sorry, I wanted to ask, like, what implications does it have on your work? Like, what does it allow you to do, or what do you see in these kind of releases?
Yeah, so to me, it's definitely very interesting that it offers you some kind of creative freedom, like very much like it's very simple actually. Like it offers you, first of all, financial freedom in a way that you can just pursue your ideas independently from other people's interests, from potential from potential clients that you would seek funding from, or from other kinds of fundings that you would need as an artist. And you can build your community, and you can. It definitely takes some time, but you can build your community of people that support you, of collectors that want to collect your work, and then you can just pursue your own creative ideas independent from other factors. And this is definitely something very interesting about this.
Has anyone of our viewers already bought an NFT or also released one? That would be a question that would interest me. And also it's kind of, I think, a way for digital artists to release their work kind of in a proper way. I don't know, like before I knew, because I don't know, like the art business is still like a painting business, like a thing business. You buy a print of a digital artwork then, because digital stuff is so hard to maintain, and when you buy a print of it, it's kind of like, you know how it works. You put it on your wall or whatever. So digital artists, I think, have for a long time been in the situation that they create some other artifacts, like they create something that you're creating, like a digital sculpture, but for being able to sell it, you have to put it like in a different form often. Like that's not, like sometimes people also sell USB flash drives, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, there's definitely change with NFTs, that you put some kind of value on a digital piece for the first time. I mean, for the first time, not this year, because NFTs have been around for at least 2, 3, 4 years or something. But of course, it has exploded in the last 6 months. It has exploded like exponentially, and now it's everywhere, and everything becomes an NFT. And I can totally understand people getting tired of it, because there are like some really low-key tries on making money with it also. Like, of course, everything, if it's talked about so much, then everything also gets exploited to an extent that becomes very questionable. But it definitely has some interesting implications for artists that I still find very beneficial, and I definitely still want to explore this space further in the next coming years. I think I'm sticking with it, even if the first wave of hype goes away, I think.
Yeah, nice. Raphael, he also has released one. Yeah, I knew that. And what do you think, like, are different people becoming collectors with these NFTs than before? Does it speak to a different audience?
Yeah, I mean, I think for sure. I think it definitely got in some digital natives that were more, maybe earlier, maybe more interested in, I don't know, digital online communities, or even gaming, or like, I think it definitely got in another generation of collectors, or of people interested in art, or of people interested in supporting a certain person that they like, or a certain artist that they become a fan of, and then would like to support in their creative ideas. Yeah, slightly different from traditional art markets, but then
that's your cat. Nice.
And they were sleeping all day, and now it's crazy hour.
That's nice. You always have to have cats if you do something on the internet.
Yeah. So.
And but people are also saying, you know, that you only buy the artworks because you speculate that they become more expensive in the future. So it's not rather not an art market, but rather like a speculative market for finance thing. How do you know the people who bought your NFTs?
No, I mean not all of them. I've been in touch with some collectors that collected pieces of mine, and I had some great conversations on Twitter. And I mean, this is something that I really enjoy about it. If I can get in touch with another person and we discover that we have mutual interests or mutual topics, and we can have an exchange, and then this person also appreciates my art and wants to support me, that like this is the ideal condition, I think. And this is also how you establish like a long-term relationship to collectors, I think. But like I had a release on a platform called Don't Buy Meme, and like for example there I sold pieces also in editions of 100. And of course you cannot like know every like of a list of 100 collectors. You will not have an exchange with every one of them, but yeah, this is just something else then, and it's also totally valid, I think.
Yeah. What did your pieces sell for? Can I ask that? I mean, it's public.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
just roughly to get an idea.
It's like it really completely depends. Like like the range is from a couple of €100 on editions of 100 to a couple of €1,000 on a 101 edition, or even on a 1 of 10 edition. Like my most successful release so far was definitely on this meme platform, and it went quite well, and I'm happy about it because now I can focus on other projects and like can finance myself to do free projects. Like for example, the one I just finished with Jonas with Varg, and this is definitely something I really enjoy and I appreciate about this. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's super interesting. I mean, everybody, I think, would wish for this to be a bit more, a bit more sustainable, of course.
Yes.
But I think, like, from the concept, I mean, there are possibilities to have different kind of blockchains. I mean, the most of them are on Ethereum, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like a lot of the crypto art right now happens on the Ethereum blockchain, which is already transitioning into a more sustainable, like ecologically sustainable state, which will probably come in 1 year or 1.5 years, but it's definitely being worked on very intensely. And then like there's also like the discourse that, of course, it's super important to talk about this, but the thing is like, the problem is more the blockchain itself, like not so much the NFT marketplaces on top of this, because I've read like this, like the whole NFT ecosystem on Ethereum only takes up like a tiny fraction of the transactions on the Ethereum blockchain. And like how a blockchain works is anyway, once it's in motion, basically, it's like, it's just running perpetually, and it doesn't matter so much. Like I had this an analogy of this running train, and it's like, if the seats on the train are taken or not at this point doesn't matter so much. And so it's definitely still an ecological problem that needs to be addressed, but like the focus on the problem the focus of this problem, or like the responsibility, should not be entirely on the artist. It's more like these blockchains have existed for years now. I mean, Ethereum exists like since 2014, and it will eventually transition to a more sustainable state. And also, even now, there are already blockchains that are way more sustainable, working on other algorithms, like consensus algorithms, and yeah, it's already happening basically. Yes. Ah, sorry, I need to change my position. Yeah, it's really hard. Maybe like this.
Are you always sitting when you do this, or do you sometimes because you can't do
Sorry?
this? Are you always sitting when you draw like this?
It depends on my mood, but I'd say nowadays most of the time actually yes. But standing can also be nice.
Full body interaction.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just trying to add a few details here, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I painted this in the same layer, I actually need to go create another layer.
It's kind of funny that you end up in this VR space with 2D menus again that look like
and you can position them here where you want.
Windows 95.
Yes, exactly.
Still no 3D. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, how have you perceived this whole NFT space or craze so far? Because I can only speak for myself in my bubble, like I said, but I don't know how.
I think we have in some ways the same bubble, I guess.
Yeah.
So as I said, I found it very interesting that one half is really saying is happy about this new opportunity and trying it out, and the other part is noting that it's not a good idea to do this because of the environmental stuff. And then I found it very interesting that Memo Akten, who has been at our festival, I think twice already in the last years, he released this website, right? What was it called?
I think I know which one, yeah.
What the fuck? NFTs? No,
yeah.
I don't know. Something like that. I don't know. But then he took it down again because he saw so many people accusing artists, like personally, like you said, and taking this as a legitimization, Legitimizierung. I don't know. So he took it down because he didn't want to be the reason for people blaming each other.
Okay.
It's a highly controversial topic.
It really is, yeah. It really divided the internet quite a bit, and still does.
Yes, Toast Hawaii is asking on the chat about your age. You don't have to say that, but how long you have been into digital art, and how did you get started?
Okay, so no problem about my age. So it's like 30. I'm 32. And digital art, I mean, I've explored. I've been experimenting with, let's say, different digital tool sets for 6-7 years now. I started more in a video direction where I did experimental edits, or I started out experimenting with After Effects, learning this quite a bit, and then doing some experimental videos with it, like short videos, and then I started writing my own tools for data moshing because I was really inspired by all this glitch art scene for a while, and I explored data moshing quite a bit and released more videos with it like this. And then eventually I was becoming fascinated by augmented reality and wanted to explore it, and found out about Unity. And at this point, basically AR didn't exist on any social platform, so you had to use some kind of real-time application like Unity, and then use some plugins. And for this reason, I learned Unity and then stayed with it because I really liked the possibilities that Unity offers and offered and still offers. I'm still doing a lot of work in Unity. And from there, I kept my fascination also with AR and VR, and translated these experiments or ideas that I started in Unity, and when it became available to Snapchat and to later then Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've probably like earned money by doing projects for the last years, right? For clients, mainly.
Yeah, exactly. So with Unity, I actually was employed for a little time or actually for like partly part-time employed for 3 years or something while I was studying and I was working as a Unity developer for an architectural office. So I developed like real-time applications for virtual visitation of buildings or something like this. Yeah, which allowed me to learn quite a bit about Unity. So I definitely don't regret that. It was nice, but I definitely found out that I don't want to be employed for all my life. So I'm like definitely enjoy more being a freelancer than being employed. And then, yeah, with being an AR developer or XR developer, I've done this for about 2 years now, while also doing real-time work in Unity still on a freelance basis and stuff like this. Yes.
Yeah. How would you recommend young artists to start? Is another question on the chat. If you would start today, what would you start with? Unity still or Unreal? I think Unreal is the new thing.
Yeah. If you want to get into real time and you're starting out, and it depends on your background and also where you want to end up. But yeah, I mean, Unreal is definitely very worth learning, and maybe I will also venture into this a bit at some point, because just like the possibilities that the coming updates will offer in terms of model complexity and everything. Like, I mean, we probably all seen this very impressive trailer a couple of months ago. This really made me want to learn Unreal more.
Yeah, that was very impressive. Like for Unreal 5, I think the trailer with this woman running through this ancient city, like a bit like a Tomb Raider
style. And just like the possibilities it offers in terms of you could have a multi-million polygon model in there and it would just render flawlessly, and you don't even need to poly reduce your models or retopologize your models. You can just like take them out of ZBrush and put them in a game engine. This is crazy. Complete game changer, and very excited to see where this is going. And like in general, they are like innovating a lot and putting their Fortnite money to good use, basically. Epic.
And suing Apple. But what were there was also they also have this meta-human thing. Yeah. That also looks very impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
For creating humans in the game engine that look really realistic. That's also a very interesting topic, I think, that's coming up.
Yeah. And this will maybe lead to more. This will maybe lead to more diversity and more interesting characters, because what we see now a lot is just these bald dust 3D characters that all look the same. And maybe through innovation like Real Human, we will see more diversity in digital renderings and in digital spaces.
Let me check if I can.
But yeah, in terms of what to learn, I mean, it depends. I think like the internet is just an amazing space for this. There's so many free tutorials or tutorials that are financially very accessible through Patreon, through like only a couple of months, a couple of euros a month is subscription based. And but even so many free tutorials on almost any tool set. And I think this became really, I mean, the democratization of knowledge on the internet is really something, especially for these complex applications like Blender or any kind of application. This has been a really interesting development over the last few years, that the tutorials have become so accessible, and I think it's a really great environment to learn new stuff if you just stick to it.
Yeah. On the other hand, it's also becoming much harder to decide what to learn, because there's so much
I agree,
on everything.
It can be so overwhelming, I think.
I think perhaps that's where the question is coming from. I just quickly show this MetaHuman Creator website. It's on the Unreal website, and yeah, it looks pretty impressive. I don't know, like somebody, I think, who was experimenting with it? I saw it on my Instagram timeline, on Formative or something. Somebody posted something about trying it out. Definitely interesting. I'm not sure if it's request access. Yeah, okay. It's not public.
Yeah.
But where's your screen again? There. How long do you normally work on a sculpture like this? Like the ones you sold? Or other ones?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like the sculpting can be sometimes pretty quick, like a couple of hours. And then the next step would be to optimize it, like optimize the poly count for, depending on where it ends. Like if it ends up in a real-time application, then you have to optimize way more than if you just do a rendering with it. But anyway, you will probably end up optimizing quite a bit to texturize it and to UV map it properly. And then depending on if I do a digital artwork with it in, for example, through a bit of ZBrush, and then put it into Houdini and do a rendering with it, can be a couple of hours to a couple of days on and off working on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Houdini, I think, is also a thing that is very, has been hot for quite some time already.
Yeah, I'm still learning this. I'm still pretty much in the beginning. I mean, I know my way around the software now a bit, but it's still a lot of stuff ahead of me. But I'm really looking forward to it, and I just joined a new tutorial series on this, so I'm hopefully going to learn a lot more about it in the next few weeks. And there's definitely some software that I would like to learn properly in the next coming years, probably, because it's so complex.
Yeah, but definitely interesting. And yeah, like you can get crazy results with it.
Yeah, like completely. If you understand Houdini, then you also have understood so much about 3D in general and about like modeling in general. Like it's because it's very technical, and like the generative and procedural possibilities are literally endless. So it's like super interesting to me, coming from a coding background basically. So really looking forward to learning more about it. Yeah. So if you like, I could also show you the immersive space.
Yeah. But I would also be interested in how perhaps you can briefly show how you would continue now with this.
I think this is too complicated right now.
Okay, but you can export it, like it has an export function, and then you get
exactly.
Some kind of
I mean, the export I could show, but taking it into another application would lead to too much window switching right now, I think. But I would like probably at this point take it into like export it as I mostly export it as just like raw to get the full detail. And this would already mean that it would be 7.2 million polygon or triangles, which is quite a lot. And then just export it as OBJ. And
why is it minus 7 million?
No, it's about. Like,
Yes.
Exactly. And yeah, you can even, if you want it to have in real time, then you can even have it create some and bake into some like some normal maps and like the detail map already baked in, but I got mixed results with this, so I mostly do the UV mapping in another
And you can
set.
also select 3D print, if that's going to work is the other question.
This is also the other. I haven't tried this yet. I want to actually. This is one of the things I would really like to try next with my sculptures, to create some, to venture into this whole 3D printing thing, because I haven't done it yet, and I would really like to experiment with it a bit. Yes.
Yeah,
So,
nice. And then you would import it into ZBrush to refine it.
yeah, exactly. So, like I said, also still learning the software, but I know a bit about it. I can do what I need so far from it, and refine it in the model a bit, or add some details to it, and then I would take it into some other rendering, or then I would maybe take it into Substance Painter and apply some texture maps to it, interesting texturing, and then render it in Houdini, for example.
Yeah.
Or put it into real-time application like Unity.
I would really be interested in seeing how this looks in another program, but you say it's too complicated.
Yeah, I mean...
Just opening it once? No, but if it's complicated, then we don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too stressed with switching into and importing, and I think it's a bit too complex right now.
Okay, yeah. If you say so, yeah. I have no idea. Yeah, but perhaps you can, take some minutes to walk us through the.
So how would we best do this technically now? Should I exit the screen sharing and enter the screen sharing again, or?
I think you can deactivate it, and when you reactivate it, you can select something different. I guess.
Yeah, just a second. No. So if I reactivate it, then it just wants to open again the Oculus.
Perhaps just reload it then.
So it's fine if I reload the page here. And
yeah, sure, that's no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Blender, Cinema 4D. I always have the impression, I mean, when you start with one thing, you understand a lot about how these things work. And if you then switch from Cinema 4D or from Blender to Cinema 4D or whatever, I guess it's... I mean, the controls are different and they all think a bit differently, but I think you get the main parts. But but it's a broad field. I mean, like Blender and Cinema 4D are not real-time things. Unreal is a real-time thing, so that's basically a different kind of thing. Depends on what you wanna do, or you need. Usually you always need a tool set, like you do too. You're not only working with Oculus Medium, but you also need all of these other tools to make something out of it. So I guess it's not just like one thing you have to learn. And thanks Raphael for the compliment on the screen design. I was kind of fed up with the squares, so I went for something round. But my process, I spent far too much time today on refining this, but there are some wrong pixels here, for example, in this design. I tried to get rid of them, tried 5 things, but it didn't really work out. I was doing it in Figma, but then moved to Photoshop, and well, complicated process. But that's 2 details. Aaron, I see now the browser screen.
Can you see this?
Yes. Wait a second. I'll put it on the screen. Perhaps you can get the warning's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So not sure if you can probably not hear the audio right now, but that's okay. You can visit it yourself. So yeah, this is like an immersive space that we built over the last couple of weeks, and it contains, as you can see, this is one of the sculptures that I did in Oculus Medium for the space. and you can just go in here. You can explore it on your own, and it's supposed to be like a very decelerative experience. Like it's supposed to like slow you down a bit from the pace of media consumption, of digital media consumption. And you can experience like poems about transcendental states and about our own relationship to nature. And then fragments of these poems will appear around you if you enter into these bubbles here.
Yeah, we can hear the sound a bit. It's probably through your loudspeakers and into your microphone.
Yes, I will turn it off for now. So
No, it's fine. It's fine. You can leave it on. I think I like it.
Yeah, and then just like spend as much time here as you like. It's developing, and the whole experience you will. I mean, it depends where you move, but like the audio part of the experience, you will have experienced most of it within 6-7 minutes, and also the light is changing within this time. But there's like certain areas here that you can explore and find new things and new poems, like some things inside here that I can quickly show, and you can go in there on your own maybe as well.
And how is this created?
This was created with Unity. This is Unity WebGL.
Ah, yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
Is that easy to do? So you create it in Unity and that just hit export? Does it work like that?
In theory, yes. But
yeah, in theory, yeah.
There's like a lot of debugging involved and optimization as well. And but yeah, I definitely like this format and I would like to use it more. And it definitely got improved a lot over the last few years. Like I remember using Unity WebGL a few years ago. It was a mess, and now it's definitely usable. It still doesn't really work on mobile yet, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But I think we will get there as well. But anyway, this is more like also in terms of performance, this needs like a desktop or laptop, and so I'm actually fine with it not running on mobile at this point.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, Mio, I think we have been talking about this in one of the last studio visits with him from What's Binaire. They built this Journée tool.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's crazy because what they do is they have a cloud computer doing the rendering, and then you basically just get the rendered image via WebRTC. So like a web-based chat. So it's just sending you a video stream, and that works really well. So you get like really a high quality of the rendering without, and
really
also
impressive.
on a phone, I guess. Yeah.
I got a little invitation into this space, and I experienced it and found it really, really nice technology. And I mean, technologically very impressive, but also like the creative possibilities are amazing for this.
He was one of the advisors at the factory residency you did, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How was that, by the way, the residency?
It was great. It was a great time. Great time of really interesting exchange, and met amazing people there, and had had a really great time overall. Also some interesting exchange with the mentors, and
nice. And is there something happening because it's like a collaboration with Sonar? Is Sonar happening?
I think it's happening, yeah, in some form. I don't know the details off the top of my head right now, but there's something happening, I think, yes.
Yeah, probably a digital version of everything.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice. I mean, who wants to, when you want to try out this, I think the link is a bit up in the chat. I will try and, I found it and post it again. So you can check it out yourself and then have better audio and hopefully a powerful enough machine to do the rendering.
Yeah.
I think I hear your fan going up now as well. or no?
Yeah, that might be true.
Very nice. So, if you guys on the chat don't have any more questions to Aaron, I think we could call it a day. It's already 10 already. Thank you so much. It was great looking over
Thanks
your
for having
shoulder.
me.
Really, really had a good time. Was yeah, and the plan is to do this more often now. I'm not sure who is gonna let us view her decked desktop next time, but we'll announce that very soon. Also, I found out, like, if you are an ambitious motion designer or something, I would like to have like these kind of stingers, I think you call them, that make nice transitions between the different things I'm showing here. So if you want to contribute something, get in touch with live@retune.de or whatever at retune.de, and or on social media if you want to get into this. What else? Yeah, and if you want to be like Aaron today, or if you would like to suggest somebody who we could invite on our show, let us know in the chat or later on social media or via email or whatever. That would be nice. And of course, please like us and no, how do you say, sign up for our channels on Twitch. I'm new to this Twitch business. We'll also release a recording of this on YouTube, I guess, in the next days. So you can also follow us there. What else is there to say? We have a newsletter. Fuck the algorithms. Sign up for our newsletter. They get to your inbox safely. No, perhaps not. Perhaps you also have algorithms that protect you from that. Yeah, you're very welcome. And somebody said thanks on the chat if you didn't get that. Okay, thank you so much and see you around next time. Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah,
see you.